A lot goes into rating a film. The Motion Picture Association of America thoroughly reviews upcoming releases to see if they contain content generally deemed inappropriate for younger audiences. Dirty jokes, mature themes, graphic violence, and gratuitous nudity can all earn a film an R rating, letting parents know they probably don't want to bring the whole family. For the most part, this system works well, but it definitely isn't perfect, as highlighted by these standout cases of super scary movies that somehow avoided an R rating. Ouija: Origin of Evil. From director Mike Flanagan, 2016's Ouija: Origin of Evil reveals the blood-chilling events that occurred before the first Ouija film. It follows single mom Alice as she runs a sham psychic business out of her home with her daughters Paulina and Doris. When Alice brings a Ouija board into the mix in an effort to liven up her act with some supernatural flair, the three women unwittingly make contact with an evil spirit. Ouija: Origin of Evil shies away from gore, but it maintains a constant sense of dread, delivering violent deaths, a freaky demonic possession, and enough horrifying images to keep you wide awake at night. Just like we couldn't believe this prequel was actually a solid film following its vapid predecessor, we're also stunned it snuck into theaters without an R rating.
And the last thing you feel is cold.
Mama. 2013's Mama stars Jessica Chastain as Annabelle and Nikolai Coster-Waldau as her boyfriend Lucas, and follows Lucas's young nieces, Victoria and Lily, and the ghostly figure they call Mama that looms over them. When Lucas and Annabelle bring Victoria and Lily home after they spent 5 years in isolation following their mother and father's deaths, Mama extends her monstrous maternal hand beyond the girls' reach to grip the lives of those around them. Mama's eerie imagery, tense and terror-filled story, and haunting ending gives us a case of the heebie-jeebies usually reserved for R-rated fare. How it skated by on a PG-13 instead, we'll never fully understand. Insidious. Patrick Wilson and Rose Byrne lead 2010's Insidious as married couple Josh and Renee Lambert, who recently moved into a new home with their 3 children. What should be a humble abode instead becomes the center of their nightmares as really bad things begin to befall the Lamberts. It all starts when Josh and Renee's son Dalton slips into a coma-like state after he sees a figure hiding in the attic, and it only gets worse from there. After Renee is attacked and a bloody handprint is left on Dalton's bed, the Lamberts pack up and move to a new house, but the spirits haunting them persist. A demonic Darth Maul-looking entity stalks the family of 5, and viewers soon learn the real reason for Dalton's unconsciousness and the startling truth behind Josh's identity. Insidious is light on blood and guts, but heavy on creepy imagery, psychological tension, and unsettling storylines, which is why it's so surprising that it didn't receive an R rating. The Last Exorcism. How did The Last Exorcism, the found-footage possession pick that's appeared on many a scariest horror films list, slip by with a PG-13 rating? This genuinely eerie 2010 film begins with Reverend Cotton Marcus embarking on what he thinks will be a routine fake exorcism he's grown used to performing. Here's just a taste of what then goes down. There's face slashing, animal killing, and finger breaking. There are horrifying hooded figures, decapitations, and people getting burned alive. And of course, there's a possessed girl who contorts into a human pretzel and fills an already eerie barn with the sounds of her strained, demonic voice.
We're gonna go now. We're gonna get you in the car.
Are you okay? Oh my God.
Now!
Drag Me to Hell. Director Sam Raimi returned to his horror roots with 2009's Drag Me to Hell. The film begins as mild-mannered bank loan officer Christine Brown turns down her client Sylvia's request for yet another mortgage extension. On the verge of eviction, Sylvia crawls into the backseat of Christine's car, then attacks and places a curse on her. Now haunted by a soul-starved spirit, Christine's life spirals into a blood-soaked horror show. She imagines flies buzzing in her stomach, experiences a projectile nosebleed, takes part in a demonic goat sacrifice, jumps into a grave to dig up a corpse, and gets embalming liquid pumped into her mouth via a dead person's vomit. Featuring some of the most ferociously gruesome gags in recent memory, Drag Me to Hell is a hammy but horrifying splatterfest that is somehow not rated R. The Ring. 2002's The Ring is intensely terrifying with a weird concept. Watch a VHS tape and die 7 days later. It's only made odder and more unsettling by Helmer Gore Verbinski's off-kilter directorial choices. Dead bodies and the disturbing videotape connect a handful of Pacific Northwest teenagers to journalist Rachel Keller, who ventures to find out the truth behind the killings and see if she can escape the unavoidable. The entire film is filled with grisly images, most notably drowned ghost Samara Morgan emerging from a TV screen and staggering across the floor. There's also a horse getting chopped to pieces by the blades of a ferry propeller, plus some disembowelment and ripped up fingernails for good measure. What ultimately pushes The Ring into should-be R-rated territory is its continuous sense of terror and persistent disturbing imagery that leave you with a feeling of dread you just can't shake.
Oh my God, Katie. Oh, okay. You freak!
Jaws. This 1975 Steven Spielberg classic sees a gung-ho group of guys journey into the Big Blue in search of the man-eating great white shark that's been terrorizing beachgoers on Amity Island. Things go just about as well as you'd anticipate they would in a shark hunting venture. The inclusion of many brutal fatalities and the explosive shark death makes Jaws completely inappropriate for the tame PG rating it was given. Even though the MPAA had at the time only PG or R to pick when rating Jaws, the clear choice should have been the latter.
Did you see that?